Well, I had quite a normal upbringing. I was lucky. I had a very nice mummy and daddy who looked after me very nicely, sent me to private school, which is an honour and was lucky. Where I was different was that I had severe dyslexia, which was discovered when I was about 11 or 12, which meant I couldn't really write very well, and I certainly couldn't spell. And I used to find things to pronounce very, very difficult. I then went to another school which then really supported that and helped me. So I had a pretty nice childhood, and the reason why I ended up in hospitality, it wasn't ended up, is that I always felt all through my childhood that I loved it when my parents would entertain, and I loved it when people were having a good time, and I really enjoyed it when you could do something which then made people have a good time, and I think that's what hospitality is about. That's where I come from, is the fact that it's about people having a really nice time and giving people a nice time. So when I used to go through my careers lessons, and because of my exams were so bad, and I really struggled at getting my English O-level, and I really struggled with every sort of exam, my careers masters looked at me and thought, well, there's no obvious career for you to go into, and then it sort of pointed towards hospitality. Well, what drew me in was the fact that in Britain 35 years ago, there weren't many good restaurants, there weren't many good hotels, and it was seen as a bit of a dog's dinner of a job. If you couldn't do anything else, you ended up going into hospitality. And I thought that was a good opportunity, because I thought then there'd be less competition of any worth. And also I thought nothing was going to take away a good meal, nothing was going to take away a comfortable night's sleep, nothing was going to take away from a good drink. And so my three hobbies, which are eating, drinking and napping, were always going to be part of everyone's life. Well, there was never any great plan with Soho House. I mean, when I left Trust House Forte, I became, in fact, before I left it, I became their marketing manager at Grosvenor House. And I was suddenly getting into the wheels of working for a big hospitality company, which it wasn't the reason I went into hospitality, it was to do it for someone else. I always wanted to create my own restaurant. And I opened my first restaurant at the age of 24 called Over the Top. And it was a disaster. It was really, really, really terrible. I mean, the reason why it was a disaster, because it was disgusting. The food was disgusting, the service was bad, the decor was not good. So you learn more by failure than by success. And we then changed that around, or I'm blaming someone else, it's me, changed it around to Café Bohème, which is still in Soho now, 25 years later. And then the landlord of that building phoned me up, Paul Raymond, and said, would you be interested in taking the floors above Café Bohème? And I thought, well, let's go and have a look at it. And the only thing I thought would work in there would be a private members club. And the reason why it was called Soho House was it was some houses in Soho. So consequently, it became Soho House. And really, when we opened, it was just survival, really. There was no plan that we were going to open more, or that it would work globally, or it would work anywhere else. That was how it started. I care desperately about the customer, our member. I report to the customer. The customer is my boss. And if the customer's happy, and they're having a good time, or they're having a good night's sleep, or they love the room that you created, then I think you got every chance of succeeding. I think a lot of people worry about all sorts of other things, profitability, which of course you have to worry about, but if the customer's not happy, then the profitability is going to be so much more difficult to get to. So just worry about the customer, and I think that is a thing that I've learned most. Well, we're just about to open Molly's Motel and Diner, which is new to us. It's not a private members club, it's nothing to do with private membership. It's roadside. It's roadside. So it's a roadside motel and diner, and then the first one is opening in December. Well, I think Sundays are pretty perfect for me. At home, boiled eggs in the morning, newspapers, preparing Sunday lunch. I'd much rather do that than go and play a sport. I love creating lunch. I love having a load of people round for lunch. Family, friends, big table, big roast, and then chilling out in the afternoon and just relaxing. That is my sort of perfect day. I haven't quite caught on to this healthy bit yet, so I love red meat, I love potatoes, I love a good roast. It's not so big in America, but you're more brunch, and I'm more Sunday roast, and lovely red wine.